Yeah. So what are we doing today? Probably had this a million times. To be better at social media in 2026, you need to be good at storytelling. Very simple, right? And it's a true statement. But here's the thing. What is storytelling in 2026? What do you need to know about it to actually get going in the right direction? Who can you learn from with all the content you're consuming? Who are the people you can look to teach you storytelling, and how are you going to learn storytelling and implement those things daily to become better? 2026 is the year I'm looking to improve my storytelling. It's not that I have no understanding of what it is, to hone it in my photography, in my videography. Last year we got more into doing weddings, so I think that will help in the wedding storytelling as well. So that is what we are going to be doing on this channel mainly in 2026. So the journey started, I think, a week or two ago, where I posted on Instagram talking about how I want to become a better storyteller. But there are a few things I think we need to get rid of, or at least solve, before we can actually start the journey of becoming better storytellers. And that is what this video is for. So count this as episode 1 of the storytelling journey. Welcome. So here's the thing. If you think of storytelling and something in your mind says, I don't have enough time, or that sounds difficult. I also had those thoughts in my mind when it comes to storytelling, because when you want to craft a story, you're always thinking it must be unique. How is it going to stand out? Do I need to script? Do I need to do this? What about the camera? What about this? All those different questions are involved in making a story, from the scripting to the production to the editing. And one of the things, or one of my biggest challenges, I think, has been trying to get into the groove of actually staying consistent to get better at this, but also learning more about editing. So those are some of the things we want to talk about. How do we become more consistent? How do we make time to actually do the thing that makes us better storytellers? And if we are not able to get consistent with it, it doesn't really matter if we learn about storytelling. We've got to practice it. We've got to put down our foot and say, okay, this is the time we're going to record, this is the time we're going to edit. And that's the biggest issue I think we're going to have to deal with. I don't know if you're like me, but that's the biggest issue we're going to have to deal with in 2026 before we can even move forward to actually learning about storytelling. So here's how I think we're going to deal with that problem. Time blocking. Time blocking is essentially just making blocks of time for specific tasks. Nothing else but that task. And one of the easiest ways I've seen to time block, and one of the creative ways I think, is to color code. I learned this from one person called Adrian Parr, and I think I will link him in this video, and I will also talk about him more when we get to the point of who can teach you storytelling, where time blocking with color coding of tasks. So let's say if we're going to be scripting, maybe scripting is black. And then if you go and you're going to have to be doing the recording and the editing, let's say that is red. And then publishing, that's also part of storytelling, publishing the story or the video, that would be green, right? So when you have all these color codes, what are they going to help you do? When you see a certain color, you know what you're supposed to be doing that day. So here comes the next part, the calendar. You've got to put this in the calendar. Now you can do this on a phone. You may not be as easily distracted as I am with a phone, so you can put it on your calendar in the phone. But for me to be able to see my goals, I just put it on my work desk. I got a paper, drew a calendar, and now I have a calendar on my wall, and I'm able to see this every day when I'm working, to know what this day is for, what this day is for. What this essentially does, it takes away the need to say, okay, what am I doing today? I already have my January planned out. I know if I'm recording on Monday, if I'm going to release on Wednesday. I don't have to think it. It's already on paper and it's blocked. There's that time for that specific thing. Now, I always have to leave time for my other activities. I run a business, so that is on a different set of terms, but with similar coding. So I've been doing this for about 2 weeks now, and here's the thing that I've found that is very good is blocking. You know what you're waking up to do, you know the goals for that day, so it's easier for you to wake up, refresh, know what you're going to do, easier for you to have a clear mind and say this is the purpose of this day, and do that one thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to blocking is also to batch shoot. That's the second important thing, batch shooting. I've been trying to do this over a period of time, and I know how important it is. With the addition of blocked time, I know when I'm going to record. Usually I would not know when I'm going to record. Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday? So the blocking and the batch shooting together are two systems that I believe will help us be more accountable to each other, but also create more content within a specified time. Now, for example, if I'm sitting down to shoot A-roll, at least I should be able to shoot 2 videos, 2 long-form videos and some shorts, right? So in this one sitting, I'm able to capture content that would probably run 2 to 3 weeks. So what does that mean? I am no longer behind schedule, I am ahead, I have content next week and be more consistent. Like I said, our earlier problem, consistency. So we're trying to find ways to remove all the creative blocks. So the last bit of solving the problem, who can we learn from? Like I said earlier, doom scrolling is a problem. Getting on the phone and scrolling, and you're trying to tell yourself you're trying to find ideas, but you're just scrolling through the whole day. It's not how we want to do it. So we need people we're going to learn from. So I have identified 3 people who will teach us different things about the storytelling journey. One is the content. How do you create content? How do you batch shoot? All these things about content and how to make it engaging. And that is someone called, and I mentioned him earlier, Adrian Parr, and I think his handle is OMG Adrian. So Adrian will be helping with the content part. He also does a bit of editing, but more to the content part. Then when it comes to editing, I'm sure you may have seen him on your reels or your TikTok. He's a gentleman called Gakuen. I think, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but he's a very good editor, very good storyteller, but I just love the tips he gives, especially on TikTok. He also has a YouTube channel. One part that we should not forget is the business aspect. Yes, we're learning storytelling, but we also must learn how to bring out the business side of our photography or our videography, even through our storytelling. I don't know if I'm going to butcher the name, but I'll just say Sam Frenojo. I don't know, Sam, right? He has an account where he teaches the business of video, and he has a few great tips that will help us along the way. And yeah, those 3 people are the people identified to be more of the pillars of teaching. Definitely when you follow certain people, you get recommended other people, so there are other people who are doing great things. And the more you do this, the more curated your Instagram reels and your TikTok becomes towards teaching you those things that you want to learn. So let's make our social media more curated for that. So if we're spending time scrolling, at least we're learning a thing or 2. So I think with those 3 things, time blocking, batch shooting, and actually identifying who we can learn from on social media, we are able to start now moving forward to actually start learning storytelling. So as we go forward in this storytelling journey with more episodes, we're going to be now tackling more about the storytelling, learning about it. And remember, I'm also on the journey, so what I learn, I'll share. And if you have anything you're learning, put it in the comments. Come at me in the DMs with things maybe you think we should learn, or you've learned that you want to share with me. And this journey will be a great one. I believe by the end of 2026 we'll be much better at storytelling, and we'll also be making a business out of it. So that is the goal. And yeah, we're getting right into it. And hopefully you got something from this video. I'll see you in the next one. But hey, always remember to deliver a feeling. Peace.